Hello, how goes it? My name is Amby and you're watching Ambysco. Welcome to the 5th episode of my Skyfactory 3 series as we have a beautiful morning sunrise on our little island here. I just want to get right into our smeltery work for this episode because we got to get the smeltery finished up and actually working in order to be able to produce new Tinker's Construct tools so that we can have a pickaxe and a sword and maybe even armor. I wonder if we have Tinker's armor in this pack. Maybe. I think it's called like at Tinker's like Armory maybe. Not sure. No, it doesn't look like we've got like proper Tinker's armor. There's like some kind of other mod that adds that, like a Tinker's add-on mod that adds these customizable armor pieces. Anyway, I forgot something in our last video. I forgot to craft Smeltery Drains, and Smeltery Drains are used to output liquid through a faucet. So I need a drain. Just these, and I'm going to make 9 of them because I have 9 faucets. So let's just fill that in right there. Take 2 of these out, and there we go. We've got 9 smeltery drains. I'm going to go over here with a pickaxe that I don't have because we haven't made any Tinker's Construct pickaxes yet. And, man, do I not have a cobble pick? Oh, here's one. And it's going to break. All right, hold on. Let's see. Let's get another one, because otherwise it's going to break on us and we're not going to be able to finish breaking all of our blocks on the smeltery that we need to. Okay, so I'm going to just place a drain on pretty much all of these positions on the outside of the smeltery that are the ones that aren't, hanging off the edge or blocked behind something. So all of these 7 for now. And the gold that's in there is fine. The smeltery capacity, of course, is lower when I cut off the middle, but the gold will stay. And even if I broke one of these blocks down here, the gold will disappear temporarily, but when I place that again and rebuild the smeltery, it'll reactivate as long as you don't confuse the system too much by making too many major changes. So you are safe to modify your smeltery a little bit. So let's keep these smeltery drains in. Now, when we place them normally like this, they're all output drains, and you can even get one to output out of this spot here. But if I were to place them backwards, I could input through those sides, I think. You might actually be able to input through these as well, but I'm not 100% sure on that. What I do know is that that's not important for us right now, because all we need to do is output liquids from the smeltery and be able to cast them into blocks and ingots and such. So I'm going to place 3 of these casting tables, and I'm going to place 3 basins, and we'll have 1 extra spot left over at the end here for whatever we're going to need it for. I don't know what that'll be yet, but I'm sure we'll figure it out. So I'll place these, and we'll get something underneath them right now. Actually, let's see, is there a good way to get it? Yeah, we can just bridge off of these blocks. Let me see how smooth stone looks. I've got some smooth stone slabs. So let's just place that here. Oops. Man, I'm not really having any luck today. I feel like I say that every episode. I guess I never have any luck. Well, I would say it's my luck, but I just said that I have none. Oh man, I'm confused now. Whatever. Now that we got those slabs there, I don't think we're gonna need them under these casting basins. Let me see. Yeah, we don't need them under the casting basins. You can't see past the bottom, so we don't need to worry about expanding it over. But we do need to place these casting tables right here, and then cover up what I just destroyed. There we go. And if we just place faucets on all of these, like that, we've got 1, 2, 3, and an emergency more slots to use. But we have a slight problem. There is not currently a casting for an ingot. I think in order to do that, we can just place a seared brick in one of these, and use some gold, because we've got 5 blocks and an ingot in here. Use a little bit of gold to make an ingot cast. And we can also go for the other types of parts that we need and just make it out of like cobblestone or whatever and cast gold casts on top of here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get all of the types of casts that we need for our smeltery ready. I'm going to go and decide what tools we're going to make this episode, and then I'll come right back as soon as I have them all made. Alright, so I am back with the castings that we're going to need to make our tools today, and I chose a pickaxe, a mattock, and a cleaver, and I picked a pickaxe because it's the best mining option for only needing to mine 1 block, because it is the only mining option for only needing to mine 1 block. The other mining based option is a hammer, and it mines a 3x3. Then I picked a mattock because it is a great all-purpose tool. It'll let us chop wood, dig dirt, and till the dirt as well, so it will keep my inventory slightly less cluttered, because you've been watching for long enough to know that my inventory is a total nightmare after the beginning of the episode. And finally, I picked a cleaver because cleavers have a very high damage value, and I don't really want to deal with mobs that often, so if we do run into a mob, 1 or 2, I want to just be able to kill it and be done with it with just brute force. So I will be right back as soon as I have decided what materials I'm going to be using on all of the tools. So on the mattock, I decided to go with a bronze handle, an obsidian head, and an electrum head. And the reason I went with those options is because if you look at the different materials in the Materials and U book, you can see that obsidian for a head material has a good mining level, but more importantly for a mattock, a good mining speed, and that durate modifier that is going to make our tool last longer. Then I used a bronze handle because if you look at bronze, which is kind of broken in this pack for some reason, it has a great durability for a handle, it has a good modifier, and it has that dense modifier, which is going to make our tool last longer as it gets to a lower durability. And then finally, I went with an electrum head because the electrum head, well, the second head, which is, electrum, has that benefit of a great mining speed. So it's going to be really fast when you combine it with the obsidian head. Together, they'll be super fast, and all we have to do is throw on a diamond as a modifier to get a little bit of extra durability on this tool that will be protected by the bronze durability bonus and the obsidian durability bonus. Now for the pickaxe, I chose a paper binding, a bronze handle, and an obsidian head. So if you go in and you look at paper, when you use it as a binding, it gives you this writable modifier, which adds an extra modifier you can go in and use to upgrade your tool right off the bat, like a diamond to give the tool extra durability, which is going to be really useful because I chose obsidian as the head material, and even though it has a low base durability, it has that durate modifier like I said before. But more importantly, for a pickaxe, obsidian has that decent mining speed, but a really high mining level of cobalt, which is so important for a pickaxe because it's the only tool that we really need it on, and obsidian is the only material we have access to that'll give us a cobalt mining level, which is the highest mining level in this pack. And then finally, a bronze handle, because again, it is just a good enough handle. It's got good durability and a good handle modifier. And finally, for the cleaver, I chose to use a bone tool rod, a copper tool rod, a silver blade, and a lead plate. And if we go back into the materials, you can see that bone tool rods, or handles in this case, have a great modifier, a decent durability, but most importantly, they increase the damage of the tool. Then if you look at a copper tool rod, if we go back in here, a copper tool rod is going to give us bonus XP for killing mobs. Again, it's got a good modifier, and the durability on copper wasn't so important in this case because it's got that good modifier and that XP bonus, which is going to be great for when we start mob farming. Then if I go in under a silver blade, the silver blade has the highest attack of the tool options that we've got available to us right now, and it does an extra 3 hearts of damage to undead enemies. It's got good durability, and it's just going to be the best option for a blade that we have available to us right now at this point in the pack. Then finally, if I go down to a lead plate, where is that? Right here. A lead plate has good durability and it's poisonous, so it's going to poison our enemies when we hit them. So I am going to get all of the ores and everything we need to get this done together, and then I'll come right back for us to smelt them down in the smeltery and show you the tool building process. Alright, so I've gotten all of the materials together except for one thing. It turns out in Skyfactory 3 you can't make bronze because there are no mods in the pack that add tin, so it is impossible to get bronze, at least in any reasonable and non-exploitative manner that won't take many hours. So I replaced the 2 bronze handles in our listing here with copper handles, because copper handles, when we go in the book, have very similar properties. You see that the modifier is close, the durability is slightly lower, and that XP bonus can't hurt us. So that's what we're going to use. We're going to use copper handles instead of bronze. If you're following along, perhaps in a newer version of Skyfactory or in another pack, just keep in mind that bronze would have been my preferred choice, and you can probably use bronze in whatever pack you're on. So now that I've gotten all those materials together, let's get that stuff made. We're going to need a little bit of electrum to make that matic, and I think it's just the matic that is going to use electrum. So we'll put in 2 pieces of gold and 1 piece of this silver ore, because you need to have an even ratio of gold to silver to make electrum and get the correct amount out. Actually, I think since we only need 2 ingots, I can just take 1 piece of gold and put 1 piece in, because we'll get 2 pieces of silver and 1 piece of gold. That'll alloy to make 2 pieces of electrum. Just like this, you're watching them go down, and now we've got 2 pieces of electrum and 1 remaining piece of silver. So I can pull that piece of silver out here, and once it casts into an ingot and cools down, I can take that out. Then I can go ahead and take a electrum, or take a cast for either the shovel or the axe head and make it out of electrum. And on the matic, the shovel, I think, goes, so the shovel goes on the back and the axe head goes on the front. And we're going to have obsidian and electrum, and I think it'll look cooler if the electrum is in the back. And our mining levels don't really matter in this case, so I'm going to take the electrum and put it on the whatever's in the back, which is the shovel head. So if I take the shovel, we only need 2 in material cost there. I'll put that right there. We've got 2 ingots in there, and we'll cast it into a shovel piece. Now, we also need an obsidian axe head, and I've got the obsidian in my inventory, and the obsidian is made in this part crafting bench, so I don't actually need the axe head cast here. I just need to put the right amount of obsidian into the part crafter, and I can take out my obsidian axe head. Now the electrum shovel head is done, so I can just take that out of the cast, pull the cast off the table, and put these 2 casts back in our cast chest. One thing to note, I do have 2 more ingot casts over here than the one in the cast chest, but because of a limitation in Tinker's Construct, you can only store 1 kind of each cast in a cast chest, so I'm just going to keep the other 2 on the table for storage reasons. You could also use a chest I don't think they're really any different than a cast chest for these purposes, but the reason I'm putting a cast chest there is because it'll only let me put casts inside of it, and it'll force me to keep the chests around the base a little bit more clean instead of putting random things inside of it, like I've done with this one, and those, and that, and all over this base, because I am really, really disorganized. And then the final thing we need is that copper handle, and since we don't need electrum for anything else, I'm just going to make that copper handle right away. So we'll put 2 copper ingots into the smeltery, they'll smelt up at the same time, and in the meantime I will talk about what I have done to the smeltery. Since the beginning of the video I added another level, but since last episode I added like 2 or 3 levels. And then also, during this, one of the cuts in this video, I added these seared brick slabs to the top so that mobs cannot spawn. I don't know if they actually count as part of the smeltery structure. I don't think they do, but they look better, so that's why I use them instead of something else or placing torches up there. Just keeps it looking nice and clean. So this copper is done now, and I just need a regular tool rod for a mattock. So I'll throw a regular tool rod cast on and cast our 2 ingots into a tool rod. Take the cast out, throw it in our chest, and we can come over here to the, actually we need a tool forge. So let's see what options we have for a tool forge. Oops. I think we need like 4 blocks. Yeah, we're gonna need 4 blocks of a metal to make it, and that's 36 pieces of that metal. So we don't actually have enough. I will do some quick breaking down of gravel, get just a little bit more iron, and then I will come back to put together our new mattock. So the good thing about Tinker's Construct now is that we actually can double all of our ores. So just these 7 little ore chunks should be enough to give us all of the iron ingots that we need to make our tool forge. Let me just pull this one last copper ingot out of there. I guess the material cost for a tool rod, a regular tool rod, is just 1, right? So I didn't actually need to put 2 pieces of copper in there. But these 7 iron ore chunks will turn into 14 iron ore ingots, or not iron ore ingots, my gosh. Just plain iron ingots. I wonder what an iron ore ingot would be. Like a crumbly brick of some sort. Anyway, as soon as that is done, we'll take it out. Just about now. Come on, I know you can do it. And then we'll get ourselves a tool forge. I'll pour out some of those into a casting basin, and the remainders will come out onto these casting tables in the form of ingots. Let's see how many ingots we've got left in there. Oh, I was perfect on my math, so we got all of the ingots just like that, and we got an achievement, acquire hardware. We've gotten our first iron ingot that's smelted. That doesn't sound right, because I know we've smelted others in this furnace here. We must have just been missing something in the achievement chain. Anyway, this iron block has cooled, and we now have 36 iron ingots. I don't know why I uncrafted that iron block, because I'm just going to craft it right back into another iron block again. And let me grab some of these seared bricks, and we need a tool station, which I happen to have the one from the ground in my inventory. So let's get that built. And I just need 3 seared bricks. Or, yeah. Which is really confusing. It's 3 seared bricks, but then there could also be 3 seared bricks. Like, these are both 3 seared bricks. I wish they had picked a more direct name, like maybe seared brick blocks or something along those lines. It would have been a little bit easier to differentiate between what you're talking about. Anyway, tool forge built. Let's place that right there. And now we can make our fancy mattock. And I think technically we could have made it in a tool station, but I needed to make a tool forge anyway for the cleaver. So, you know, it doesn't matter if I actually needed it or not. Let's pull the mattock right here and drop all of the parts in the right places. And wow, that is an ugly looking thing because that copper tool rod. It would probably look a lot better with a wooden one, but that's irrelevant. And we've got these different traits here, as well as the mining speed of 9.06, which is really fast. I know Obsidian's is like just over 7 and Electrum's is 12, so it like averages them out sort of, something close to an average, and gives you really fast tool. So even just this base level Matic here, we have a really fast chopping option. Let's plant a tree and see what it's like. Actually, let's plant a bunch of trees because we're going to run out of saplings if I don't plant some trees. And we will take a look at this Matic. Also, it has only 129 durability in comparison to this 169 from the Flint Obsidian one. But that's fine because we're going to go ahead and upgrade it. Alright, so we've got a bunch of trees here. Let me just vein mine one of them. Oh no! Does vein miner not work? Oh, I changed my vein miner key. Never mind. Whoa. Why is that? Why is that like that? Oh, it's the Electrum thing. Electrum charges up when you run around, so like if I hit a mob with this, it does extra damage. That's really weird. I kind of don't like that, but it also looks kind of cool to have that sparkly pink thing on the side. Okay, let me try actually vein mining something now. Yeah, there we go. And it's really quick. Let's compare it to this one. Yeah, it's way quicker. So we'll just have to throw a diamond on that real quick, and it should have a lot more durability, because I think a diamond gives you 500 durability when you use it as a modifier. Let's check. It will give you a extra durability, a minor stat increase. Oh, that's nice. And I think we've already got 3 modifiers available on this, so we should be able to use a diamond just fine. Let's bring that over here, put it in the tool forge, and put a diamond on it. You can see now it has 629 durability, and the mining speed and attack both actually go up, and the attack goes up like a good amount. The only thing it does is take away just that one modifier there. Unfortunately, they're quite limited on what you can get, but we can add more modifiers through the use of modifiers, weirdly enough. I think there are a couple that will give us an extra modifier or something. I don't see them right there, but I know there's some kind of options like that, and if there aren't in this version of Tinker's Construct, you can get more modifiers just by leveling up your tools with XP. And Tinker's Construct XP, not like player XP. But as I mine, you'll see it's got 26 XP. If I mine another one, it should go up to 27, and so on and so forth. And I should not leave floating trees. That's really bad practice. So let's chop these trees and collect the saplings, because we need all the saplings we can get at this point. All right. Now on to the next tool. We've got a pickaxe. We need a paper binding, a bronze handle, and an obsidian head. And like I said before, that bronze is going to be copper. So let me swap that for copper, just one piece, and a tool rod cast like that. And as soon as that copper's melted down, we can just craft that into a tool rod, or rather cast that into a tool rod, just like that. And done. All right. Put that tool rod cast away. I think that's the last time we need a regular tool rod for this episode. And then I also need to make 2 more parts on this part crafter, and that would be the paper binding and the obsidian head. And this is for a pickaxe, so we're going to take the pickaxe mold or pattern and put in our obsidian, grab that obsidian head, and then a small paper binding, not the large one, it's just the regular. We can put the paper in, and oh no, this costs 1 and paper's only worth 0.75. We don't have enough sugarcane. Well, I guess we technically have enough, but I would have to wait for more to grow. I think I have another sugarcane seed. Yeah, I do. So I'll plant that because I'm lazy rather than waiting for the sugarcane that I had growing to grow. And we will craft that into paper, just like that. Now we have enough paper for a binding. So keep that in mind. You actually need at least 6 sugarcane to get your first binding because it takes 4 paper. So there we go. We've got all of the stuff for a pickaxe. We'll bring that into the tool forge and put this pickaxe together. And done. So we've got a pickaxe with very terrible durability, but a high mining speed. It's also got that cobalt mining level. So let's go over to our chest of riches and grab another diamond and plop a diamond onto this one as well, especially because we've got 4 modifiers on this tool thanks to that paper binding. On all of our tools are going to look nice and fancy because they've got little diamond tips on them. I want to see what the matic looks like, but I can't get the glowiness to go away from the electrum. I'd like to see what it looks like with those diamond tips. It probably looks a lot more ugly. Tinker's Construct tools tend to get only uglier the more stuff you put on them. They don't look any nicer. And let me just break these leaves. They're bothering me. We've got plenty of saplings from this round of trees to grow more trees, so I don't need to break the saplings or break the leaves with a crook or anything. I'll put these saplings away, and we will work on the final tool, which is a cleaver. And actually we need 3 different metal parts for this cleaver. So we need a copper heavy tool rod. Those heavy tool rods or tough tool rods require 3 material. So that's 3 pieces of copper that we'll put in there. We also need a lead plate, and plates require 8 material. So that's going to be 4 of these lead ore chunks, because remember, they double now. And then finally, we need to put in the silver for the silver blade, and it's this large sword blade here, which is a material cost of 8. Man, that is going to be expensive. But we just got to make sure that we won't have anything that'll alloy up together, and we don't. So we'll put those 4 pieces of silver ore in there, and that'll give us 8 silver ingots to make our large sword blade. So let's get the first thing out. So we're going to take the lead and make a lead plate. And since we've got multiple materials inside of the smeltery, we just have to be careful to select the correct one. And the way you select it is just by clicking on it, it'll move it to the bottom. And then it's selected, you can pour it out into the casting table or the casting basins if you're trying to make blocks or anything else that requires casting and crafting in a casting basin. There's our plate. We'll take the mold out and put that away. And now we need a tough tool rod. And that tough tool rod is going to be a copper tough tool rod, if I'm correct. Yep, copper. Just had to check my notes. And we'll pour out copper because it is on the bottom already. And the last thing we'll need is a silver sword blade here as soon as this copper tool rod's done. We can pour that out and put away the mold. And go over in the meantime and craft our bone tool rod, which is going to be another heavy or tough tool rod. We need 3 bones in there to get our bone rod. Go right on back, get this, and we can now craft our cleaver. So let's get all the stuff in. Actually, first I need to select cleaver, and we can put these parts in. And, oh, I'm putting them in the wrong spot. And there we go. So let's just see what we want to swap it out. Because we can put the copper on the handle or the bone on the handle, like across the handle, I mean. The bone being the not across part looks kind of weird. It's kind of stubby. If we swap it out, it looks more like a handguard. So I'm going to put the bone in that second spot there. We'll take this right out. And, oh, there we go. We've got our first sword, so we've earned an achievement. And if we look at this, it's got a ton of durability, 810. That is a lot. 13 attack, which is a lot as well for a starter weapon. And it'll have 3 modifiers for us. Now, a cleaver is kind of slow. They don't hit very fast. If you look at the little bar in front of my mouse, it's got a long reload time. But when we add a lot of modifiers to it to make it do more damage, it should be a very capable weapon, able to kill zombies and skeletons and spiders and everything of that sort in just one shot, and it won't be an issue. So I was just taking a quick look at the modifier options that we had here for this cleaver, and we don't really have access to any great ones right now. We're going to be limited to like just pretty not great stuff. We could make it slow our enemies down, but it's just not worth using a modifier slot on that when we could save it for things like quartz later and add a ton of quartz to this, make it have a lot of sharpness and just destroy other mobs. But we can add a diamond to it right now, which has got the bonus of adding durability, but also it's going to significantly increase our attack. You see it goes up there from just 13 up to 14, 14 and a quarter actually. And then it also increases our durability by 500 like it does on all the other tools. Not a huge thing on this tool because, again, it already had a high durability, but it certainly doesn't hurt, and the bonus attack is always nice. It might even increase our attack speed. I don't think it does. Yeah, I can't tell. I don't think it did. So, future me here, I was just about to record the outro for this video, and I noticed that we have finally gotten some animals to spawn here, so that's fun. We've got chickens, roosters, sheep with the googly eyes mod attached to them, oh, a chicken with the googly eyes mod, and a compressed cow. Is that a cow egg? I don't know. We gotta run back, grab some gates. I blocked them off with dirt temporarily because that's all I had, but I'm gonna put some gates up, like fence gates, because I want to keep all those animals over there. I don't want them coming over here yet. We might have a use for them over here eventually. I just need to find... I thought I had sticks, but I don't. So I just needed to find planks, I guess, instead. And we'll get a fence set up, fence gate set up like this. Wow, I am not doing a very good job at crafting things properly today. Let's run back over and use our fancy glowy matic to break all those blocks and get XP for doing it, evidently. Put our gates up and check out what's going on here. Oh, so that's not a cow egg, that is chicken manure, which is bone meal, I guess, because that's what it did. But it also caused those chickens to... Oh, I thought it caused a chicken to lay an egg. That might have just been one that was already on the ground. But those eggs are going to be great for making resource chickens. We can craft up, or at least I think we can. Yeah, here we go. We can craft up a flint chicken or sand chicken. Those should be interesting. So these chickens will be great to have, as well as some food source from the cows and a little bit from the sheep. I think sheep drop food in this pack and in this version of Minecraft. We'll have to see. Let's try the cleaver on this compressed cow, though. I think it'll shoot out like 9 cows. Yeah, there we go. That was fun. And the cleaver does a great job. Not that I wouldn't have expected it to kill a cow. Pretty much any sword should be able to kill a cow in one hit in modded Minecraft. But with all these animals now, we might be able to avoid eating cooked silkworms for much longer. Maybe in like 4 episodes when I can finally get the time to get to them. Unfortunately, I was not able to get to automation this episode. I know I promised that last episode that today would be a day for automation, but no such luck. Just too much time in this episode absorbed by Tinker's Construct, and you know, that's not a bad thing. Tinker's Construct is great, and a lot of people that are watching probably are not super familiar with all of the different things that go into making good tools. So the episode was definitely worth it, and you'll just have to wait till tomorrow to get some automation fix. that being said, the episode is over. Thank you for watching. Please leave a like if you liked. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you'd like to see more of my videos. And if you want to get notifications every time I upload, you got to hit that bell icon.